Okay, so part 2 of our next project is to take one of your designs that you did the other day with the sub, and if you don't like any of them, you can start over and start with a new design. But if you like one of your designs from the other day, you can cut it out and use it for this project. If not, though, what you will do, and this is the next step anyway, so what you're going to do is take a square sheet of paper that I will give you in class, and you are going to fold it once so it makes a rectangle, and then you're going to fold it again so it makes a little square, smaller square. And then you're going to fold it one more time to make a triangle. This is going to help us to know where to trace our design. So once you have a little triangle, you're going to open it back up. And this is where you can either trace one of your designs from the other day into one of the triangles, or you can freehand a new design with a pencil in one of the triangles, not multiple triangles, just one. And just a reminder, the things that I told you the other day is that your design needs to go from one side of the triangle to the other, and you need to have at least 14 overlapping lines or shapes. And when I was looking at a lot of designs the other day, I noticed that a lot of them weren't overlapping. A lot of kids just did stripes and lines that went alongside each other. That's not really going to create a very interesting design. So make sure your shapes or lines overlap, like this one appears to be going underneath this one. So once you've filled up your one triangle with a design or traced it, get it approved by me before you move on to the next step. But I will say that it's important that you draw lightly with a pencil. That way, if we need to make any changes, we can erase them before you move on. All right, I already have one that's drawn out, so that it just made it a little bit quicker. So once you have your design drawn out and it's approved by me, Miss Bell, the next step is to start tracing your design. You can use the carbon copy method if you're at home, and if you don't remember how to do that, there's a tutorial for that on Google Classroom, or if you're in class, you can use our handy dandy light tables. I know that's super bright, sorry, but the first step, let me show you without the light table, is that you're going to fold your paper, and if it's not folded perfectly, don't stress. Always trace with a pencil. Do not trace with a Sharpie. So what you're going to do is you're going to trace over your design with a pencil. That way, if you happen to mess up, we can change it. Your design should show up pretty well. If it doesn't, you can go over your design on the other side with a pencil a little bit darker so it shows up better. Sometimes if you just press the paper down a little bit more, then it shows up a little bit better. Okay, so once you've gotten it traced, you should be able to see, oh, and see, I forgot one little spot right there. That's okay. Go back, and I think my phone is shaking a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay, so you open it up. There we go. And it should line up pretty well. If it doesn't, then just go back and make them line up by drawing and connecting the lines. Once you have it like this, you can either keep tracing it where it's just one triangle at a time, or you can go ahead and trace the entire square there. So we are creating radial symmetry, and that is symmetry coming out from the center like a circle, almost making a circular design. A lot of times you will see this in nature. It just naturally happens in certain things called like a sunflower, or sometimes one of those shells that's real circular. All that has radial symmetry. I will say that just regular symmetry shows up a lot in nature, like butterflies, ladybugs, those sorts of things. But we are taking it a step further and making a radial design. You can, once you get done with your entire tracing and the whole picture's done, then you can go in and Sharpie your design. You don't want to do it before then, because if you mess up and the lines don't connect, you can't fix it because it's done with a Sharpie. So I've traced that design. Now all I have to do is fold it one more time and do this entire section like that. So you get the idea, but you have to get your design approved by me first, because sometimes I've done this so many times I can already see where certain designs will line up and make a really cool new shape, and I would love to help you make your design as interesting and cool as it can be. So once you get it Sharpied, you can color in certain areas black, and then the rest of the shapes and design I would color in with a highlighter so that it looks really cool under the black light. So almost done here. It does take a minute. I'm not being as careful as you should because I'm trying to be quick for the video, because I am not going to take the time this morning to make a time lapse. Okay. And you can use inspiration from nature. I actually kind of used a like a crab claw to get this, you know, to be inspired and draw that shape right there, and then part of a shrimp in one of my shapes. You could use, I still think it'd be really cool to do an octopus leg and have like the octopus legs, multiple octopi legs, I guess that's what we'll say, in one triangle. I think it would make a really cool design. Flowers are okay, as long as you don't come up with a cartoon flower. You look at an actual flower, and as long as your shapes reach all the way to the edge so they make a cool connected design. So almost done here. Oh, missed that, but that's okay because I did it with a pencil, which is most important. Just like that. Okay, so now's your chance before you go to Sharpie it. If anything doesn't line up because maybe the paper wasn't folded exactly right, like right here, you can go back and erase it. And you can make it line up. I mean, there's no, there's no rule that says you can't go back and tweak a few things before you go to Sharpie it, because we want it to look as nice and neat as possible. So once you've done this part, tomorrow I will post the next part about Sharpieing and coloring, but for now, this is all you should get done for at this point. Okay, thanks, bye.